Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Hey, Friday fraud law review again. Okay, this is early July. This came out. This one sounds really interesting. So let's go through it together. If you're interested, it has to do with an organ transplant scheme. That sounds really creepy. Like they could write books about this. Remember the old author Robin Cook? I don't mean Robin Cook is old. I really don't recall, but maybe he is. But excellent books with like medical fraud and corruption and all that kind of stuff. Really scary stuff. A lot of movies were made out of Robin Cook's books. I used to read for leisure. I intend to do it again when I retire. One day, if I live that long, I would be reading books like that probably. I like them. Anyway, so here we have the Northern District of Iowa, of all places. And this is, of course, reported by the Social Security Office of Inspector General. It says an illegal alien and two other individuals who conspired to obtain over $500,000 in federally funded health care benefits, including a kidney transplant, were sentenced to prison on June 24th and July 2nd of 2024. Okay. So this guy pled guilty, so I'll say his name. Jeremias Otonio Herrera Rosales. 37 years old. That's all this guy is. He's from Worthington, Minnesota, originally from Guatemala, received a 16-month prison term after a February 7th guilty plea to one count of conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud. The other person, Jennifer Herrera, age 43, also from Worthington, Minnesota, received a 1-month prison term after a February 9th, 2024 guilty plea to one count of conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud. So they both pled guilty to the same thing, but got different sentences. Okay. Here we go. The next person, Jacqueline Guerra, age 52, from Wells, Minnesota, received a 1-month prison term after a February 6th plea to one count of conspiracy to commit health care fraud. Okay, so whatever they did, I don't know how bad it is since they barely got anything, unless there's more coming up. Let's see. Apparently, the evidence established that Herrera Rosales was a citizen of Guatemala, so that's the illegal alien, the first guy I mentioned, apparently, with no legal status in the United States. No later than 2012, Guerra and Herrera provided Mr. Herrera Rosales with the name, date of birth, and social security number of DG. That's initials because they're protecting someone's identity. Okay. Herrera and Herrera Rosales were married, and Guerra happens to be Herrera's sister. Okay, so it's all in the family to boot. Beginning no later than 2015, Herrera Rosales assumed DG's identity and used DG's identification documents to apply for Medicare and Minnesota Medicaid benefits. Just as a little offshoot here, guys, Medicare is for the disabled, Social Security disabled, who have paid in for it. So if they are Social Security Social Security disability eligible, they would also be eligible for Medicare. Minnesota Medicaid, just as a reminder, Medicaid is the state program. Do the feds send the money? Yes. And, unfortunately, they can't seem to swing it themselves for whatever reason, but with their own taxes. But Medicaid is handled by the state by and large, and Medicare by the feds. Okay. The United States funds Medicare. Are they going to say blah, blah, blah? exactly what I just said. And I will be linking this. So between 2015 and 2020, Herrera Rosales, that's the gentleman, obtained more than $500,000 in benefits from Medicare, Minnesota Medicaid, and the Social Security Administration using DG's identity without DG's knowledge or consent. As part of the scheme, Herrera Rosales gained placement on the Honor Donor Registry under the false and fraudulent pretense that he was DG and eligible for kidney transplant. In 2019, Herrera Rosales obtained a federally funded kidney transplant in Minnesota. Okay, so this is interesting. This guy needed a kidney transplant, apparently. Very sad. Yes, yes, yes. Is he the illegal alien, did I say? So he comes here illegally and takes one that someone here that's here legally who needed it now won't get. Most likely someone dies when this happens. And people die on these lists all the time. So you come in, you bump someone behind you, someone way down the line, at the very least, is going to probably die. Okay, so I don't know. What do you think? Should that be also reckless manslaughter? I don't know. I think it could be. I think there could be a stretch to that. I don't think they're going to do it. It's complicated. They're happy for the conviction. But if you think about it, if you follow the dots, there will probably be a death that would have been avoided at this time had that person gotten a transplant. And of course, as you know, we wait in line and In 2019, Herrera Rosales obtained a federally funded kidney transplant in Minnesota. In his plea agreement, he admitted that because he received the kidney transplant fraudulently, another person who needed the kidney did not receive it. Okay, so he actually admitted to that. It's almost like a weird kind of an assault. It's preventing care for somebody else that needs it. I don't know where you want to go with that. These defendants were sentenced in Sioux City by the United States District Court Judge Leonard T. Strand. Herrera Rosales was sentenced to 16 months. And as I noted before, the other two ladies, wife and sister, I guess, were sentenced to 1 month. They were ordered to pay over $500,000 in restitution as a joint and several obligation. That means they can get it from one or they can get it from all. Each defendant must also serve a 3-year term of supervised release. After their respective prison terms, there is no parole in the federal system. What do you think of their sentences, guys? Is it like uber sympathetic because he needed a kidney transplant? It would have been, except he took it from somebody else. Get it in your own country. Go away. That really annoys me. You know, he's comfortable. He's got his kidney. Now, granted, I don't think kidney transplants are that comfortable. There's a lot of work to be done. I think there's a lot of endless medical care you need too. So is that something he's going to be getting here? I mean, he's in our prison system for 16 months potentially, and they have an obligation to medically care for prisoners, don't they? So how much is this really going to cost? Right? How much is it really going to cost? So he's currently being, well, at the time of this writing, which was last week, he was being held in the United States Marshal's custody until he can be transported to a federal prison. The two lovely ladies that conspired along with him were released on bonds previously set and are to surrender to the United States Marshal on future dates. Yeah, I mean, they really got a slap on the wrist for their involvement. It is a little harder though, I suppose, when it's a family member that you love so dearly, but I don't know. It's a tough one, but all right, I'm about to block this person. If I don't answer, there's a reason. All right, I will chat with you guys later. And anyway, I'd be curious about your thoughts on this. I'm a little torn. I know the person, I mean, the guy that got the kidney, I kind of think should be going down for a longer time. But again, that's going to cost the US taxpayers. So what do you think? Women got off light, but again, it's so hard when it's someone you love. I think it should be harder. It's harder on them than on him. Anyway, I will chat with you later. Let me know what you think. Bye now.